The Good Shepherd and His Sheep. Have you ever heard of the Good Shepherd? Amid the hills of ancient Judea, Jesus told a powerful parable about care, protection, and unconditional love. He spoke of a shepherd unlike any other, one who knows his sheep by name, who leads them on the right path, and who gives his own life for them. But what does this mean for us today? How can we recognize the voice of the true shepherd in a world full of distractions and uncertainties? In a time when we are bombarded with so much information, finding a voice that truly guides and protects us seems almost impossible. Yet, that is exactly what the Good Shepherd does. He not only calls us, but also teaches us to distinguish what is fleeting from what is eternal. If you want to understand this transformative message and discover how the Good Shepherd continues to call each one of us, stay until the end of this video. And before we begin, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell so you don't miss any content. Let's go! Amid the lush hills of ancient Judea, where shepherds patiently walked guiding their flocks, Jesus told a parable that echoes through the ages, revealing a profound truth about the heart of God. He spoke of a shepherd, but not just any shepherd. He was the Good Shepherd, one who not only cares for the sheep, but knows them deeply, who protects them from evil, and who, if necessary, gives his own life for them. This is not just a metaphor about leadership and protection, but a revelation of divine love in its purest form. Think of the dedication a good leader must have to care for those under his responsibility, and multiply that by a perfect, limitless love. That is exactly how the Good Shepherd acts toward each one of us. Imagine a pen, a safe enclosure where the sheep rest at night. There is a gate, and through it enters only the one who has the right to be there, the true shepherd. Anyone who tries to scale the walls or enter clandestinely has dubious intentions. They are thieves and robbers who come only to steal, kill, and destroy. But the shepherd enters through the gate, and the sheep recognize his voice. He calls them by name, for each one has a unique identity to him. When they hear his voice, they follow him, confident because they know he leads them to green pastures and still waters. They need not fear, for he will always guide them for the good. This scene brings forth the image of a place of peace amid a turbulent world, a refuge where there is care and direction. It is not just a beautiful illustration, but a representation of how God's love envelops us, inviting us to trust and rest. This scenario makes us reflect on our own lives. We are like these sheep, often lost, vulnerable, not knowing where to go. In the world, many voices call out to us, promises of quick success, momentary pleasures, deceptive shortcuts. But only one voice leads us to true security, and that is the voice of the Good Shepherd. He does not force us to follow him, but calls us with love, and those who know him, those who have learned to discern his voice, know that following any other path is dangerous. How many times have we been led astray by the wrong voices? How many times have we sought security where there is no real peace? The Good Shepherd reminds us that only in him do we find true refuge. This idea of refuge is not passive, but active. It requires us to turn our hearts and minds to listen and obey the right voice, even when everything around us seems chaotic. But there is more. The Good Shepherd not only leads the sheep, he protects them. In the open fields, there are wolves lurking, ready to attack. A hired shepherd who cares for the sheep merely out of obligation would flee at the sight of approaching danger. But the Good Shepherd does not. He interposes himself between the wolf and his sheep, facing any threat because to him they are not just numbers in a flock. They are his beloved ones. He knows them and they know him. And this knowledge is not superficial. He understands their needs, their weaknesses, their fears. He knows when a sheep is injured and needs special care, knows when one strays and needs to be rescued. His love is not general or impersonal. It is intimate and unique for each one. And that makes all the difference, for it reveals that our relationship with God is not generic, but personal and transformative. And here is the most extraordinary point of this story. The Good Shepherd gives his life for his sheep. There is no greater proof of love than that. Unlike the mercenary, who abandons the flock when the situation becomes complicated, the true shepherd chooses to suffer rather than allow his sheep to be destroyed. Jesus was speaking about himself. He knew that the cross lay before him, knew that he would give his life, not because he was forced, but because he chose to do so out of love. He died so that we might live, sacrificed himself to free us from sin and death. And this self-giving was not an isolated act, but a reflection of his very essence. His love is not conditional. He loved us even before we recognized his voice. In a world where love is often conditioned by interests and rewards, understanding that there is someone who loves us enough to give his life for us is revolutionary. If you are enjoying this content, please like the video, share it with your friends, and leave your comment below. This parable invites us to reflect: whose voice have we been following? There are so many distractions, so many false shepherds trying to lead us down crooked paths. But if we truly listen, if we stop and pay attention, the voice of the Good Shepherd will resonate within us. It calls us by name, invites us to leave the pen of uncertainty, and follow him to a full life. Often, however, we are so immersed in our worries and busyness that we do not perceive the call. We need to learn to silence the noise of the world to hear our shepherd's voice. This implies intentionality, setting aside time to pray, meditate, study the Word, and be in communion with people who share the same faith. Only then can we distinguish the shepherd's call from the misleading voices around us. The love of the Good Shepherd is neither superficial nor fleeting. He does not abandon us when we err or drift away from him. On the contrary, he seeks us out tirelessly, like a shepherd who leaves the 99 sheep in the field to find the one that is lost. This means that, regardless of where we are or how far we have gone, we can always return. There is always a way back into the arms of the Good Shepherd. And this promise gives us hope. When we feel lost, we can be sure that he is looking for us, ready to bring us back home. It is an image that transcends human logic. Who would risk leaving the majority to search for just one? But that is the kind of love that does not want to lose any of us, the love that values each individual. And not only that, the Good Shepherd does not have only a small flock. He says he has other sheep that are not yet in the same pen, but that he also wishes to bring close to him. This means his love and care are not limited to a specific group. His love extends to all peoples, to all nations, to everyone who hears his voice and chooses to follow him. There are no barriers to the care of the Good Shepherd. He wishes to guide each soul to safety and peace, regardless of where it is. His love knows no boundaries, his mercy has no limits, and his desire to see us saved is eternal. This reminds us that our mission is also to share this message, to invite others to hear the shepherd's voice. By doing so, we participate in God's great purpose of gathering his sheep into one flock. Throughout history, many people have tried to find security in wealth, power, or status. But all of that is fleeting. None of these things can offer the true peace and protection that the Good Shepherd gives us. He guides us, strengthens us, and restores us when we are wounded. His presence is constant and faithful, even when we do not perceive it. How many times have we sought refuge in temporary things, forgetting that true security lies in his hands? The Good Shepherd not only leads us along the right path, but also gives us rest when we are tired. He cares for us with unconditional love, knowing exactly what we need. In a world filled with empty promises, knowing that there is someone who truly cares about every detail of our lives is liberating. In the end, the promise is clear: those who are under the care of the Good Shepherd will never be snatched from his hands. There is security, there is hope, there is a home for those who belong to him. When we feel fear, when we face the wolves of life, be they hardships, losses, or uncertainties, we can remember that there is a faithful shepherd guiding us. He has already proven his love in the most extreme way possible. This certainty brings peace to our hearts, for we know we are not alone nor forsaken, even when the circumstances around us seem chaotic. And the relationship between the shepherd and his sheep is not only one of protection and care, but also of intimacy. He knows each one by name. He is aware of their joys and pains, understands their weaknesses, and celebrates their victories. He does not just watch from afar, but carries us in his arms when we are weak. His voice is the beacon that guides us. In the end, we find ourselves finally in his embrace, where there is eternal rest, endless joy, and a love that never runs out. He is, and always will be, our Good Shepherd. It is wonderful to think that this is not just a story from the past, but a living reality that can transform our lives now. The Good Shepherd continues to call. He knows us, guides us, protects us, and loves us in a way that goes beyond our understanding. In a world full of uncertainties, his voice still resounds, inviting us to follow him to a life of true peace and security. The big question is, are we listening? Are we willing to trust and walk under his care? Are we ready to set aside our own agendas and surrender our anxieties to the one who promised to lead us safely? If this message has touched your heart, share it with someone who needs to hear this word today. And tell me in the comments, have you ever had an experience where you clearly felt the care of the Good Shepherd in your life? I would love to hear your story. Each testimony reminds us that this care is not theoretical, but practical and real. And of course, before you go, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell so you don't miss the next videos. See you next time.